Today, the reason this policy is being taken up is actually not routine.
A policy approved by the state board on Monday regarding design and equipment for school transportation vehicles became a vehicle itself, as the state board used it to challenge recent legislation that passed in April, giving the legislature rulemaking authority over the state board. How it would typically work before House Bill 2755 is the state board would approve a policy and then it would go on to the Secretary of State's office to be filed as such. However, today when they filed this new transportation policy, it was rejected because it now has to go through the legislative process under this new bill, a law the state board is now challenging.
Of course, the board's position is and has been that House Bill 2755 is unconstitutional.
And it's already been deemed as such, as the state constitution gives the general supervision of the public schools to the State Board of Education. This challenge reminiscent of a similar fight in the 80s when lawmakers passed almost an identical piece of legislation then, and using the same transportation policy as the current board did on Monday. The board then filed it with the Secretary of State's office, and like Monday, it was rejected, prompting legal action. A 1988 Supreme Court case, West Virginia Board of Ed versus Heckler, determined that this law was unconstitutional. When the matter was put to the voters, it was rejected both in 1989 and again in 2022.
Ignored Heckler, ignored the vote that was taken in 2022, and it is our position that you should vote to file this rule with a 30-day effective date with the Secretary of State so that we can pursue the next steps in this process.
And within hours of filing, it was rejected by the Secretary of State's office. Delegate Mike Hornsby, who sponsored the bill, said on Monday in a statement that many legislators did not feel the constitutional amendment was a true reflection of the public's wishes and felt this bill was a way to hold the board more accountable. He said, quote, "The bill aimed to bring the Board of Education in line with all other state agencies that submit their rules to the legislature's rulemaking review process as a form of check and balance. The bill is intended to ensure we can collaborate with the agency." Critics felt it was overreach, unconstitutional, and dangerous for public schools. Now it will once again be up to the courts to decide who gets to make the rules for West Virginia's public schools.
Anything further that I would say on this matter at this time would be sheer opinion or speculation, and neither of those have any merit.